Commissioner Yaki.
Yes. I was curious about a statement that you made in your statement in which you said the new Black Panther Party endorsed President Obama for president. Where did you get that information from?
I don't recall the source. I did some general quick and dirty internet research in the course of preparing.
Could you provide that source? Because I'm not familiar with that.
I'll look through my notes.
And secondly, there's a tautology here which I'm not quite getting. And maybe it's simply if you say it enough, it'll become true. Why would you consider this particular case, which at most involved 2, maybe 3 individuals, of a pretty small organization that apparently only manifested itself in one precinct in Philadelphia, despite declarations that I was going to try and do this in a lot of other places. Why would you consider this high profile?
High profile because the conduct was recorded on the videotapes that you saw and
So
played in the national media
So
immediately.
absent YouTube, you're saying this, yeah, that's okay. It would not have been high profile? I mean, is that the definition of high profile? It's not how many people were involved, it's not how many voters were affected, it's not how many voters may have impacted. It's simply because it was on YouTube? That's what makes it high profile?
All of those considerations are relevant to the question whether or not you bring the case.
Well, let's take.
A question.
Let's leave aside YouTube. You've heard the testimony today. At least 2 individuals behaving badly. I think engaging in 11B type behavior. Witnesses who were there saw only 2 or 3 people actually turn away. Testimony from inside, from deposition witnesses, from deponents who were inside, said people were kind of chatting about it and joking about it in some ways, but no one seemed to be overly concerned about it. So absent YouTube, how high profile this is? 2 people, 1 precinct, 3 people maybe turned away. Everyone inside, we have no evidence saying that turnout was affected in one way or another, if it was down, if it was up. Yes, it's an 11B as to those individuals, but how does it become high profile, other than the fact that someone was there to camp for it?
I mean, the question, maybe we're quibbling about the term high profile. To me, the term high profile means, was there widespread general knowledge about this incident? And that question does turn on, is it known on a nationwide basis or just in terms of the people who were there? I don't think that's the same. I don't think that it is or should be the driver in the decision whether or not to bring the case.
Well, I would hope not. I would hope that part of the decision that to bring the case would depend on the severity of the incident.
Yeah, absolutely.
And certainly the number of people who could potentially affected.
No question about that, but I was asked which way the high profile nature of the incident cuts.
I understand,
Okay.
but yes, you can have, I don't know how many hits on YouTube, but if it's in the paper with circulation of 400,000 or 500,000, is that high profile? I don't know.
The other, let me just make one related point on the video. It seems to me it may be relevant for the reasons Commissioner Gaziano suggested, not a driver, but a consideration. It's also relevant for another reason, which is it seems to me, in terms of the decision whether or not to pursue the case, one obvious consideration the department would always consider is this going to be an easy case or a hard case to prove? And that video, in my judgment, makes it frankly, an open and shut case to prove with no investment of department resources. So I think it's relevant for that reason as well.
But then we could argue that that's the easy way out in terms of determining whether or not there's an 11B violation, because the fact of the matter is there are a number of cases that were not brought under 11B that probably should have by the Justice Department during this period of time that had a much more egregious effect on many more thousands, hundreds and thousands of people than these particular idiots with their baton did.
I can't speak to other cases that I haven't looked at. All I can tell you is that this case strikes me as a clear violation of law linked up to the agenda of the National Party and widely,
So this is
just
So
Commissioner,
this is policy by paparazzi?
Commissioner Yankee?
No.
Time
Sounds
out.
like it. Sounds like you
Okay.
Commissioner Melendez?
I didn't have anything.
Okay, Commissioner, all right.
Mr. Couchman, I assume that you would agree that one of the reasons for laws like this, and one of the reasons that the Department of Justice might undertake such an action, is to general deterrence, sending a message out to people generally that intimidating voters is a bad thing. And am I also right that the issue of general deterrence is linked up with, is it a high-profile issue? And by that, I mean, I think what you mean as well.
Yeah.
That a lot of people know about it.
And that's why I think that is a fair and relevant consideration. I think in the last round of questioning, I was just resisting a suggestion that you bring a prosecution for no other reason than that
No
there's
other
a-
reason.
there's a
But
video.
it's perfectly appropriate to consider it in the bringing of the case.
Of course.
Okay.
Let's finish up the order. Commissioner Gaziano?
Yeah, this actually helps us pretty to my final question to you. Since the Justice Department in their supplemental interrogatory answers, which we should have gotten 10 months ago, has admitted the Attorney General was made generally aware of the dismissal notions. Did you raise things to the Attorney General level or suggest things be raised to the Attorney General level that were insignificant or low profile?
No.
Okay, so what does it tell you about the Obama Holder Justice Department that this was raised to the Attorney General's level?
I think it tends to confirm what I said in my written testimony, which was that my sense is that the decision to abandon most of this litigation, given everything that we knew about it, would have been a pretty sensitive one within DOJ.
Certainly, okay. Since you were very helpful on explaining some of the permutations of executive privilege, I can't spend a lot of time, but you heard this morning that we just got the witness statements that we've been asking for 10 months. And even now, they're redacted as to their name, but I think the witnesses are going to volunteer to tell us whose was whose. Does it raise any clear deliberative process issue to have the witness statements that were on file?
I wouldn't think so. Let me make sure I understand. These are statements that DOJ took in the course of working up the case?
Correct. Now, they may implicate work product, which doesn't apply.
I think,
Which doesn't apply. So does this
They
raise?
wouldn't have been deliberative process by definition because they involved a communication with someone outside the department. They may have involved something akin to a law enforcement-like privilege while the case was pending, but I would think that wouldn't apply after the case is over.
We began our investigation after the dismissal, so.
Yeah.
So